fans, and welcome to Boom and Gloom, a Columbus Blue Jackets fan podcast where I discuss the boom and the gloom, the good and the bad of CBJ hockey. My name is Anthony, and I am on social media using the handle Whaler Jacket, and I am North America's longest suffering hockey fan. I'm a Hartford Whalers fan of old, a Blue Jackets fan now, and it has been over 40 years, and I am still waiting for my favorite NHL hockey team to get past the second round of the playoffs. I appreciate you tuning in today. If you're new to the podcast, please remember, I am no hockey expert, and I never claim to be one. I'm just an average fan who enjoys talking about the Jackets. I don't have many friends out here who are diehard hockey fans, I should say diehard Jackets hockey fans like myself. So doing this podcast kind of scratches an itch for me. It gives me a chance to talk about the CBJ. I have no sponsors. I do not ask for likes, subscribers, or followers. This is honestly just a labor of love for me that I do from my home office. I'm in my home office right now, and I have dogs. They often shake their collars. They loudly chew on bones and cause a ruckus. But like I said, I'm just an average guy. And let me just tell you that if you are listening to this right now, it makes me wonder why. Because I have been so wrong about things this season. It is ridiculous. So I don't know, maybe you enjoy listening to me be wrong and snickering when you hear what I have to say. Maybe you like hearing a guy who thinks he knows the Jackets pretty well show that he obviously doesn't. And that may be slightly sick and twisted, but hey, if you keep coming back and listening, that means I am at least providing some worthy entertainment. And I'm fine with that. But let's talk about how wrong I have been. When the Jackets returned from the Olympic break, I felt they had two must-win games against the Islanders and Bruins. I felt that if they did not win at least one of them, their season was over. And what did they do? They lost both. And sure, they got 1 point in an overtime loss to the Islanders. But my first thought was this. If you can't beat either of the two teams ahead of you in the standings, when you are supposedly desperate for points, then perhaps you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. There's that old phrase, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, the going got tough, and the Jackets did not get going. So I thought if the Jackets can't handle the pressure here, they sure as heck won't be able to handle the pressure in the playoffs. So I thought that was it. They were done. Those two games that I had circled on my mental calendar since the Olympic break, they were duds. And it was actually kind of demoralizing. I thought, there we go. Season is over now. That was it. And a lot of fans out there agreed with me. There was all a lot of gloom. And what did the Jackets do since then? They proved me wrong in a big way. Since then, they have had 0 regulation losses. That was their only regulation loss in their last 20 games. That loss against the Bruins. 18-2-4 since Rick Bowness took over. That is insane. So I am overjoyed to admit I was wrong. I was wrong about this team. This team is actually battling for a playoff spot now. And as I record this on March 22nd, they sit in third place in the Metro. If those dang Penguins would freaking lose a game or two, then they'd be in second place. No team, by the way, has surprised me more than Pittsburgh, though, this season. And it has just ticked me off. All right, I can't stand them or the Bruins. And of course, those just happen to be two teams that the Jackets are battling for a playoff spot. But they are battling. That's the thing. They are battling. Instead of being a nail in the coffin, those two losses, they actually seem to be like a catalyst. And the Jackets have been one of, if not the best NHL team in the last 20 games. Who would have thought it? Well, obviously, not me. Charlie Coyle. If you go back to some of the first episodes that I've done this season, you'll hear me say some not so nice things about Charlie Coyle. And all right, actually that's not true. Okay, I've never had anything against Charlie Coyle, so I never said anything bad about him. But I was bitter that the team chose to trade Gavin Brindley. I felt the price they paid for Charlie Coyle was too high. Well, while I still wish Brindley was part of the Jackets organization, and while I still believe they should have found another way to get Coyle rather than giving up Brindley, I have to admit that I am incredibly pleased with Charlie Coyle. He has been spectacular for the Jackets. He's been the man. He is third on the team in scoring, and his line, that third line, has just been an absolute beast. It's been spectacular with him, Olivier, and Sillinger. Just spectacular. And you can see Coyle's leadership abilities just by watching him play. He brings this steady calmness to the team. Like he doesn't seem to get rattled. He just seems to get it. All right. He's been to the playoffs every season of his career so far. So he just gets it. He knows what it takes to win. And he seems to elevate the players around him. So yeah, I was a bit wrong about Charlie Coyle. He's been a monster for this team. Cole Sillinger. In an earlier episode, I referred to Cole Sillinger as the most average NHL player you can find. And I suggested that Don Waddell even explore trading him. Well, get this. I was wrong about him too. Sure, he's not developed into the scoring sensation that one might hope for drafting a player 11th overall. And yeah, I know he was actually 12th overall, but it was either, I can't remember, it was either Ottawa or Arizona. They forfeit their pick that season, so he was the 11th player taken in the draft. But he has blossomed into a darn near perfect third line player. He plays physical. He's not afraid to mix it up. He skates hard. I mean, he is relentless sometimes. And I can't remember ever seeing him give less than 100%. And he doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes either. I mean, I'm sure he does. He makes some. He has. But overall, he plays the way he's supposed to play without making an abundance of bonehead errors. So I was wrong about Cole. I am glad he's on this team, and I'm glad that Don Waddell did not do what I said and explored trading him. I was also wrong about Damon Severson. The last few seasons, Damon Severson was synonymous with bonehead. So many giveaways and stupid mistakes, it was ridiculous. All I would do was rip on Yarmo for signing him to that to such a terrible contract. And while I still think that if the Jackets could trade him for an upgrade, I would be 100% fine with it. Overall, Severson has grown on me. I mean, there was a time when I referred to him as the new Wenberg. Because back when Alex Wenberg was on the team, he was always like my least favorite Blue Jacket. And I have this thing, I like all the Blue Jackets. I cheer for all the Blue Jackets. But there's always one that I would just, I just have to rank as my least favorite. And Severson was it. But this season, he's been solid and has been really chipping in offensively recently. So it's nice to see. Another guy I seemed to be wrong about was Danton Heinen. Voronkov and Wood have been scratched, and I have been calling for Rick Bowness to make a change on that fourth line. I couldn't understand why a two-time waiver wire player, this season I might add, was in the lineup rather than that spark plug, Miles Wood, or the 17-goal, 6'5" Dmitry Voronkov. Couldn't understand it. Why is he in the lineup and not the other two? And I'll admit, I felt more strongly about Wood than Voronkov. I thought Wood's style of play is exactly what the Jackets needed instead of Heinen. But what has Heinen done? He has played good hockey on the fourth line. Solid hockey. Creating quite a line with Lundstrom and Jenner. He's even scored 2 goals in the last couple of games. So maybe I was wrong about him too. Maybe I was not giving him enough credit. It makes me wonder though. Players like Voronkov and Wood, scratched players, and this is just kind of in general, I'm wondering, I'm sure they are very happy their team is winning, but I'm also sure they wish they were playing. They wish they were on the ice. So when Heinen scores a goal, is there a small part of them, maybe even a not so small part of them, that thinks, darn it, that buys Heinen another game? Now, I'm sure they don't hope for their teammates to play poorly, but I also think that they may, deep down, hope that the players who they hope to slot in for, that they're the ones not potting the goals, to maybe justify them jumping back into the lineup. So I don't know. I've just kind of wondered that. But now, the guy who I really should apologize about is Adam Fantilli. I've kind of been on his case this season for taking a step back in terms of offense, compared to last year. I mean, he put up 31 goals last year, and right now, he only has 21. But the thing is, shame on me. Shame on me. I did not realize his assists. Okay, sure, he may not be scoring as many goals as last season, but he is destroying his personal record for assists. in his very short career. He had 23 assists last season, and this season, he already has 31, playing on a line with Marchenko and Marchment. So what was I thinking? Criticizing his point total? I mean, shame on me. Okay, with 14 games, I think it's 14, it might be 13. With that many games left in the season, he's only 2 points away from last year's point total. So he is on pace to well eclipse that. Because as I record this, he has 52 points. And last year, he finished with 54. So yeah, shame on me. Me, of all people, I should recognize that, there's more to good play than just scoring goals. I mean, I've been an assist guy my whole life. I've talked about how, as I've played hockey, from youth hockey through high school, through college intramural, through adult beer league, I've always loved assists more than goals. I love setting up goals more than I do scoring them. So I should have recognized that, and shame on me for not. The dude may be putting up less goals, but offensively, he's actually improved. And defensively, he has improved as well. So he is becoming the number one center in the mold of Nathan MacKinnon. As I've discussed before, MacKinnon took a few seasons before he became the scoring machine that he is today. So maybe Fantilli is taking that same path. Oh, what else? All right. It appears I was wrong for me to suggest that Don Waddell should have traded Jenner at the deadline. It appears that maybe this team is exactly what it should be, as is. So finally, there is one more thing that I hope I am wrong about. And that is, since the start of the season, I predicted the Jackets would just miss out on the playoffs. Much like last season, they would get close, but ultimately fall short. I sure hope that I will be wrong one more time. I want to believe in this team. I really do. This little run the Jackets have been on has been so much fun to watch. Frustrating at times, yeah, like blowing a 4-goal lead against the Rangers, but they did win that game. And ultimately, you can't ask for much better than an 18-2-4 run. Okay, that is just bonkers. Just incredible. So I want to believe in them. I want to believe this team is going places. But when you have suffered as much heartache as I have in the last 40 years following disappointing hockey teams, you can't help but be pessimistic. When things very rarely go your way, it is hard to see the glass as half full. My brain cannot grasp the fact that this team is where it is right now and has the potential to actually do some damage in the playoffs. It can't. I admit, I've been getting more and more excited with every victory, but overall, I feel like I've been more subdued than I normally would be with a run like this. And I can't help it. The Whalers and the Jackets have broken my heart so many times that I've kind of become used to it. I expect them to blow it. That is why I feel that all Jackets fans enjoyed the sweep of Tampa Bay. But I feel like I enjoyed it more than most. I was so certain after years of getting punched in the gut that the Jackets would find a way to blow it, even when they were up 3-0. But when Artemi Panarin scored that empty netter in Game 4, and I finally realized that it was actually really, truly happening. I won't lie. I won't try to deny it. The tears came. This passionate hockey fan has been through a lot. If they ever win the Stanley Cup in my lifetime, I promise I will be a blubbering mess. I will cry like a baby. And I turned 50 this year. And that series win against the Lightning was the only playoff series I have ever seen my favorite team win. 50 years. That's a lot. And that's of course not including that bubble win against the Maple Leafs. I just don't count that. So that's a long time to go. A lot of suffering. So please forgive me when I say that I don't think the Jackets will make the playoffs this year. Please forgive me when I say that I believe they're going to fall short. Something is going to go wrong. Something is going to take them off their game. But I will be so happy to be wrong one more time. All right, some other quick things I want to talk about. If the Jackets end up making the playoffs, they will do it without hardly any help from those around them in the standings. It is uncanny how the other teams around them seem to keep winning just as often as the Jackets. And how they always seem to go to overtime. Especially the Boston Bruins. My goodness. Uncanny. If the Jackets do this, they are doing this on their own. Okay? They will have earned it. And I admit, I've been doing a lot of standings watching lately, and it is so frustrating to see things like the Penguins lose to the Hurricanes, but doing so in overtime or a shootout, whatever it was, after being down by 2 goals in the third period. I mean, come on. I did forget, though, okay, that the Jackets did get a little help from the Senators the other night, who scored a goal with 13 seconds left to beat the Islanders. So there's that, okay? But other than that, the teams we want to lose have not been losing. And the teams that we need help from, I'm looking at you, Winnipeg, have done nothing to help. If the Jackets get in, they're going to do so completely on their own, which will make it that much more impressive. What else? Kent Johnson. He scored tonight, or I should say last night, against the Kraken off a beautiful Connor Garland pass. And it was KJ's first goal in, I want to say, 13 games. But it sure seems like a lot more than that. And it might be because of the scratch, the 2 scratches. But I can't remember a player more snake bit lately than KJ. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time Mears said something like, such and such goalie absolutely robs Kent Johnson, well, I'd have a bunch of nickels. He has had prime scoring chances and has just been unable to bury the puck, usually because of some insane acrobatic save by the goaltender. Or he'll rattle it off the post or crossbar or send it just wide. And that has happened, or it seemingly has happened a bunch lately. Or he'll actually score a nice goal, and then it will get called back due to someone being offsides. And I can't remember off the top of my head which game that was, but that did happen recently. The dude has just been so snake bit, it's unreal. So last night when he actually scored, and I waited to hear them say the goal was going to be reviewed for some reason. And then it actually counted. I felt so happy for him. It must have been a huge weight that was taken off his back, taken off his shoulders. I would have never imagined his production would have taken such a huge step back this season. And I know he is a professional making more money than I will ever make, but he is a human being who loves the sport. You know it has to be weighing heavily on him, especially after being a healthy scratch for 2 games. But hopefully, this goal tonight will be a springboard for him, and he'll start putting the puck in the net a lot more. Because if the Jackets suddenly have a potent second line to go along with their already solid lines 1, 3, and 4, watch out. That would do wonders for a team already making a magical run at the postseason. Let's see what else. After the Jackets won last night, I came back upstairs because I watched the game in my little man cave basement, and my wife asked me how they did. I told her the score and how their record was so impressive since Rick Bowness came on as coach. And she asked, what has made the difference? Why was, Dean Evason not getting it done, but now Rick Bowness is? So I wanted to share what I told her. And she's not a hockey fan. I mean, she knows I am and kind of tolerates me. But here's what I told her. What I believe has made all the difference. I think it is the connection that Bowness has with the players. I remember seeing shots of the dressing room during games when Evason was coach. And you know what I always noticed? No Dean Evason. It was always an assistant coach in the room giving the pep talk. I think Evason was more of a hands-off coach. And I'm not saying that is the wrong way or the right way to coach. I just think his method did not fit this team at this time. Last season, sure. Obviously, it worked. Whatever he was doing worked. But this season was different. Bowness's approach appears to be exactly what was needed. He is hands-on. I always see him in the locker room and on the bench talking to players, pumping them up, patting them on the back. Recently, Matthew Olivier was recorded giving the donkey hat to Boone Jenner, and he mentioned something about how great the fourth line has been. Like he actually used those words, the fourth line. And just as he says that, Rick Bowness walks in front of the camera and says, "We don't have a fourth line." First of all, that is a great thing to say. An uplifting thing to say. Recognizing that line as just another solid contributing line. Not identifying it with a number that assumes a rank. But secondly, the fact that he was there in that locker room while the donkey hat was given out, I think that says a lot. It shows how involved he is. He is a part of that locker room. I don't know for sure. Obviously, I'm not there, but I don't get the feeling that Dean Evason ever was a big part of that locker room. And maybe, just maybe, that's why he, quote unquote, lost the room. Sometimes a player really works out with a team. And sometimes it's just not a good fit. There isn't good chemistry, right? So logically, the same thing can certainly be said about a coach. So my feeling is it was all about chemistry. The Jackets just didn't have the right chemistry with Dean Evason. and they have found it with Rick Bowness. Going back to what I said earlier, I really hope that I am not wrong about that. I really hope that he ends up guiding this team to the promised land. Last place in the conference when he took over to third place in the Metro as I record this, that is an incredible feat. I want to believe, I really, really do. But the second I do, this team goes on a losing streak and falls out of the playoffs. So for now, I will just be content with being pleasantly surprised every time this team wins and keeps those playoff hopes alive. Regardless, though, I know that no decisions are being made right now, but I truly hope, even if the Jackets end up floundering, I hope Rick Bowness comes back next year. I hope he signs an extension, maybe just a year or two. And, if it was up to me, my plan would be bring up Trent Vogelhuber from Cleveland and have him serve as an assistant coach under Bowness. Have him learn from Bowness, and then when Bowness decides to retire again, you have Vogelhuber there, a young, motivated coach with already some success who can hopefully keep it going. All right, I'm recording this on Sunday, March 22nd, 2026, and tonight the Blue Jackets play the New York Islanders in Long Island. To say that tonight is the biggest game of the season is a huge understatement. The Islanders are playing at home, and they are going to be ticked off, having just had their butts handed to them by Montreal last night, 7-3. They are going to be motivated. It is not going to be an easy one for the Jackets. Both teams are playing the second half of a back-to-back, but the Jackets, they had to travel. Well, I guess the Islanders did too, okay. But they're playing at an opponent's home rink, and they have not had much luck against the Islanders this season, losing two very tight, very close games. But if the Jackets can somehow, some way pull this off, they will be 4 points ahead of the Islanders for third in the Metro with a game in hand. That would be amazing. It would also potentially put the Jackets in second place in the Metro ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins if the Carolina Hurricanes would for once help the Jackets out and win their afternoon game today. I want to say it's like a 3 p.m. start time. With the condensed schedule after the Olympic break, the teams are so close in the Eastern Conference standings. This month has been insane and will continue to be insane. I can't recall the last several weeks of an NHL season being this intense with so much on the line for so many teams. Just absolutely crazy and a lot of fun. One more quick thought before I leave you. In a hockey subreddit yesterday about hockey jerseys, someone asked the question, what was your favorite team's worst jersey? Like in their history, what is the ugliest or just plain worst jersey your team has worn? In that thread, only one Jackets fan responded, at least at that time. And he or she posted a pic of the Jackets' red reverse retro jersey. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Was that the worst Jackets jersey ever? I have to say, I agree. The original jerseys that they wore, the home and away, distant second. But I think that red one was in fact the worst. Not horrible. I mean, it was okay. Certainly not as horrible as like the Canucks yellow V jersey or the Los Angeles Kings, Burger King third jersey that they had, or even the Duck, the Anaheim Ducks one, that the Mighty Ducks crashing through the ice jersey, or that that Red Wings one, that Red Wings reversed retro with the random gray stripe. That was just weird. And someone actually joked about that on that Reddit post, and it said that Red Wings jersey was actually just a practice jersey and was created out of spite by the Red Wings, who didn't want to go along with the reverse retro jersey mandate. But yeah, if I had to pick one of the Jackets jersey as the worst, and let's face it, there aren't exactly a huge number to choose from, and they haven't worn that many jerseys in their existence, I would definitely pick the red reverse retro. Oh, and also, speaking of jerseys, I heard an interesting trivia fact the other day about the Jackets' current third jersey. It is the longest running third jersey in the NHL. Most teams have ditched theirs or converted it to a main jersey by now. But the Jackets jersey, the Jackets third jersey, has carried on. And I want to say it's been 16 years. I could be wrong on that. I want to say they introduced it in 2010. But again, I could be wrong. But I think that is a testament to how cool of a jersey it is. It has endured the test of time. That'll do it today. I know it has been a while since my last episode, and I can't promise when I'll do another one. This is it's a more time-consuming process than I ever envisioned. I mean, who would have thought that sitting down and talking about hockey could involve so much planning and require so many scheduling points to fall into place? Therefore, I hope to be back at least one more time before the end of the season, but no promises. Assuming I do record another episode, let's hope it is one of optimism. Let's hope the Jackets keep up their winning ways, and my next episode includes a discussion about how far this team will go in the playoffs. If not, or if, not if, they, I totally butchered that. It'll be a discussion about how far the team will go in the playoffs, not if they're going to make them, like today's episode was about. All right. Feel free to reach out to me if you have questions, thoughts, or suggestions for future topics, or if you just want to chat about the Jackets. You can find me on social media like Blue Sky and Instagram at my handle, WhalerJacket, or send me an email at whalerjacket@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I'll leave you today with a quote from my wife. When I told her about the Jackets winning and their current record, like I mentioned earlier, she said, "Oh, so they're bringing the boom and not so much the gloom lately, huh?" Yeah, my wife gets me. Perfectly said, Courtney. Perfectly said. So long from now, from Boom and Gloom. Hope you come back and listen again sometime. Until then, take care and go Jackets.